Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sean, aka Puff Comics 83, and we are back talking movies. And today we are talking the Highlander movie from 1986, starring Christopher Lambert, who is not a mark. He is not a mark. And Sean Connery. And I am joined by my partner in crime, Varangian Vigilante. How's it going?
Oh, well. I watched the first three movies. that was a long evening. Especially after the first one. Originally we wanted to talk it because it's the beginning of the year. And Highlander 2 partly plays in 2024 and makes you really appreciate that we don't live in that 2024. With all the shit happening in this world, at least it's not the Highlander 2 timeline.
Exactly. And we are also joined by our special guest, Jeff, the Cantonese comic kid.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, he's going to join us, even though I know he's got some knowledge of the Highlander show. But he's joining us because he's got an A-OK from VV that he's going to show later on.
Just arrived today in time.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, that Mark Christopher Lambert. I got that.
He's not a mark. I've never seen a person watching the Fabulous Freebirds of
Hey, there's one movie that they fall on holy ground. They fuck that trend.
But I do have to say that I think the best part about the whole Highlander franchise and about the first movie is the beginning. Because first of all, you get an introduction by Sir Sean Connery, then you get motherfucking Princess of the Universe from Queen. If you're not already hyped, then you get the Fabulous Freebirds in wrestling, and a beautiful camera work that leads to Christopher Lambert in the audience. This beginning totally picks you up, and the movie's never ever being as good at this point.
I'm kind of mad we didn't get to see the finish of the match though.
Yeah. Hey, Biggie.
What's going on, bro?
The Michael Hayes of YouTube.
Well, he did get a haircut, so he ain't got the Michael Hayes hair. But yeah, that was a great introduction of the movie and a great shot. At first, when the wrestling, I remember when I first watched it, I was like, man, they got wrestling in this, man. Yeah. Michael Hayes.
I forgot all about that too.
Great introduction. It's already exciting just to see wrestling in it.
Mm-hmm.
And always a pleasant.
And then you see the Highlander himself, Conor McLeod, and he goes off into the parking lot where he fights another immortal who we briefly get to know, but we don't really get to know him because he's going to be ended quickly. And we get the first taste of what the power of the quickening is.
Yeah, and as we know, parking lots. This is probably the second most dangerous parking lot next to the NXT parking lot. Parking lots in wrestling always dangerous, so they should have known.
Yeah, backstage brawls in the parking lot.
Yeah,
and I will say it was a good fight. A great duel between the two, and an even better ending. Because one thing I do like about Highlander is that you have these characters that are immortal, but they can only be done by other immortals who are looking to claim the power and the prize. And the only way they can die is to be beheaded. So, in that sense, I like that concept because it's you're immortal, but you still can die at the hands of another immortal. So, and the decapitation scenes are always awesome. You can't get
really
no
nice.
better than decapitations.
Yeah, I think that the first movie has 4 strengths. First of all, the amazing soundtrack by Queen. It's actually strange that we only have I think 2 movies with Queen soundtracks, because Flash Gordon and this one. Then second, of course, the cast. The cast: Clancy Brown, Christopher Lambert, Sean Connery. Fantastic. They really carry this movie. Then thirdly, I think that the camera work is fantastic. Like the angles and everything. The movie itself looks actually like a B movie, but the camera angles like make it look more sophisticated than it actually is. And then the fourth thing is the costumes and the makeup, especially with Clancy Brown with the Kurgan. Like I think that when you see him like in Scotland, there's actually truly barbaric outfit that looks awesome. And then later in the future, he has like this punk outfit that, of course, looks completely different, but it looks like he has a genuine style, even though he says it like in disguise, so nobody knows. Of course, very sarcastically, but yeah, I think those are the strengths of the movie. Otherwise, the movie for me has like one of these, at least in my opinion, these deadly sins in tropes. I actually hate when movies jump between time periods.
I will say that the first one did it the best because we do get some, character story and driven plot, but the sequels are massive sin to this.
Yeah. In general, like the first movie should have never gotten a sequel because I think it's actually like a wrapped up story. I don't think that the plot is interesting, like Sean said, but I don't think it's something that really like needs a sequel, especially when you have like a definite ending like the first one.
Yeah, it's the case of it made money and like, well, let's do a sequel. And the fact that the sequel didn't come out till 1991 shows that they took their time. But they didn't take their time getting a great script because that shit was horrible.
It's in general, like also the script is not like could have been written by George Lucas.
Like I said, the plot is not interesting. It's not that interesting, but for what they've done in the first film, you do get background. I do like the fact that Connor supposedly died in his time period, and then when he comes back alive, everybody says witchcraft and that they need
naturally,
and so he's outcast from his own clan, so automatically he has to live on his own. I feel like the story elements from the past are pretty decent in this film, especially the introductions of Ramirez, played by Sean Connery. I felt like we didn't get enough Sean Connery in this film.
Yeah, I think he shot like all this stuff in 1 week, but hey, he got his payday, and Clancy Brown didn't. Sadly, because they said like it should be honor enough to work with Sean Connery. Like, what the fuck?
And I liked their scene where Kurgan took out Ramirez because it was a pretty good climax to that battle.
Yeah, no, in France, like it was very popular in France. Also, Christopher Lambert, of course, because he basically learned English for Highlander. He also dubbed himself in the French version, so of course you have like his natural voice in there. In Europe, this is also the thing. I don't know how it is in the US. Everybody loves the Highlander here. Like I don't get like this hype for the Highlander, like that is like especially also like in the German parts of Europe, everybody is like, yeah, Highlander, and even when I watched it first as a kid, I liked it. It's an entertaining movie. Like I said, the strength, like when Queen does the soundtrack alone, the movie is a 7 out of 10 just by default.
Right.
Yeah, and
I'm with you. I never really got the intrigue of Highlander when I was younger. Like, I never understood why it had so many sequels.
Yeah, it's like, when you see Terminator, when you see like Conan, when you see like Rambo, then it's like, you get it. Like, these are like the first movies of those are all masterpieces. But I think the Highlander is like the Highlander is basically a very decent B movie that is elevated because of the soundtrack, the cast, the camera work, and the makeup and costume design team. Also, what is my biggest problem with the first one and with the franchise as a whole is there are too many genre mixes. You know, fantasy, science fiction, drama, romance. There's like too much pushed in it, and like I said, the beginning draws you right in, but later, you know, after the middle of the movie, when they're like in New York, present time back in the day. Like, it was just like,
like, we didn't need a second romance. Even though if you lived a long life, you're like, yeah, you're just going to smash every chick that comes your way and move on.
You would think so.
Don't fall in love with them because you're going to outlive them. So it just makes no sense to fall in love with them. But yeah, it drags the movie down. I will say that as dragging as the first one is, pacing is way better than the second movie. I felt like that second movie was like, is this shit gonna end? Because I'm just bored to tears with this whole shit, with him finding a new chick, you know, the whole ozone thing and all that. I was like, man,
I was even trying, you know, when I was like, hey, let's watch the second one, like rewatch the second one, and try also to not only perceive it as a sequel to the first one because it fails in every aspect of that one. Let's just watch it like as a movie on its own. Is it like a good cyberpunk science fiction movie? But it's not. Like, it's like the whole planet size thing. Like, nothing really makes sense. Then you waste Michael Ironside in it.
And Sean Connery completely wasted them. You bring Sean Connery back, and he's nothing more than comic relief in the sequel.
Oh,
well, yeah, I forgot about that.
When he do meet up with Mikhail, they go to the base, and then they're like, "Oh, my time is over. You need to move on." I'm like, "The fuck? We just got you back. What the fuck are you talking about? You're gonna sacrifice yourself."
Yeah. Also, since the second one, plays in 2024. I am very happy for Christopher Lambert that he didn't age like his old man makeup.
That shit was horrible.
He looked like the crypt. He looked like the crypt keeper.
That had me like confused for a bit. I'm like, wait, you're immortal. How the fuck you live this long and then all of a sudden the ozone layer is all fucked up and you're Asian? Like what?
I forgot about that.
No sense at all. That and when you read up on it, it's like they just throw everything out the window when it came to the first movie and said, let's come up with this scientific cyberpunk-like movie, throw all this nonsense in here, have Michael Ironside play so over the top that it's damn near ridiculous and corny.
Like, in defense of Michael Ironside, the moment he accepted the role and read the script, he was like, I don't give a fuck.
I'm getting paid. That's all that matters.
Yes, and
I'm like, handle up as much as I can.
Exactly, and I don't think that, when you have like a fantastic cast, like in the second one, because the second one really has a fantastic cast, and not even the cast can save it. Then it's like, hey, everybody just take the payday. Like, I'm completely okay. I don't think that anything could have saved this movie like the way it was written.
Not make it. That's what it was.
Exactly. That would have been the only. I mean, basically every other sequel treats it like it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the funny thing about these sequels, the first 4 movies, all the villains have the name with the letter K starting with.
Oh yeah.
Krugen, you got
Katana,
you got Kane, and then the last one it was Krell.
Isn't there like a 5th one already? Didn't they do a 5th one?
Yeah, they did the 5th one, the Source, but that was the first one with the TV Highlander leading it.
Yeah, Virginia Madsen. Yeah. And also Deborah Unger in the 3rd one. Like, they had pretty chicks in like all the movies.
That's what I said in my story. There could only be one
Yeah,
that's the
it's-
first film.
You know, the thing is, the problem is with the second, they went so completely bonkers and away from every concept from the first one. And the third one copies the first one so much. Like, you know, why don't just, you know, when you look at the lore, why don't just make a fucking tournament movie? Where they like...
That's the underwhelming part when they talk about the gathering.
Yeah, just
They
make the
talk
gathering,
about
it's
the
a fucking
variety of
tournament.
immortals that's based on Earth.
Yeah.
And they supposed to go to this place that's off world, and they get gathered together to do these battles with only one survive. We didn't get that in these 3 movies at all.
Exactly.
I
And it's a
think there was one episode in the show where they brought it up, and it wasn't even. It wasn't like another planet or nothing. It was like an underground fight almost, like like UFC types. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what I can remember of one of the episodes was one of those.
Yeah, I didn't watch the TV series, but I heard good things about it. Like from General and Highlander fans, they say basically it's like the first one of the TV series.
But that's what I knew about was the TV show. That's how I heard about it. That's how I liked Highlander because of the show. And I didn't know there were 2 McLeods. So when I heard about them, I'm like,
that Duncan MacLeod was basically part of the same clan after Connor had left, was banished out. So he came after Connor.
Right.
And you know, I will say that most movies won't do it, but the fact that the 4th movie actually took more from the TV show and then combined it with the first movie to say, let's do this crossover, and then use it as a way to elevate Duncan and say, you know, this is going to be the last of Connor. It's actually quite brilliant, but at the same time, it's like, you done messed up the previous 2 movies. And while I didn't watch the TV show fully, I only seen a few episodes when it was on. I just wasn't fully invested in Duncan.
Yeah, I think that in general is like a fallacy that Hollywood sometimes fall into. You know, it always sounds very cool. Hey, like, let's put all the lore from the TV series in, which for storytelling reasons actually is a brilliant idea, like you said, Sean. But on the other hand, you're limiting your audience when you give like a homework to watch an entire series.
Yeah,
it's the same. That's like the same fallacy that Disney's falling into with the MCU to produce shows that just a niche audience is watching, and then basically make them required watching for some movies, and you're limiting your audience with that.
And that was the problem with Endgame. It's like, I would have watched it, but because it's more continuing from the TV series, I'm like, that's a whole lot of fucking shows I gotta watch, and I ain't got that time.
Like, let's just say after the 3rd one, you must have threatened me with beheading to watch like any other one.
Yeah, so I was like, and the funny thing is, I wanted to watch the 4th one because Edge is in it, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember the episode where the cast was on SmackDown, and Edge and Christian was talking about how, you know, Edge was in the movie and that he's a bigger star than the actual cast. And it was hilarious how they got. I need to revisit that episode because I remember, you know, Lambert and them all were there. They were at sidelines, and then Edge got screwed over in the match because they were heels. I need to watch that. Yeah. But yeah, that's why I remember more about the 4th one.
Yeah, there's also some other action movies with Edge, and he also was in the Vikings TV series before they completely lost the plot.
And it's funny because it's like, yo, Edge is in the 4th movie. The 1st movie starts off with the Freebirds saying like, hey, wrestling got a connection here, man. But yeah, it's like the 1st movie. I do like the fact that some of the rules are explained, that you can't have a son or you can't have a child. And you know, when you watch the 3rd movie, it's like, wait a minute, how the fuck you got a kid? And then you realize, but you know, it's like one of the things I did like about the whole battle with him and Krugen is that when he kills Krugen, it almost felt like Krugen had this weight off his shoulders that he finally died. You know, like that last shot of him before he finally decapitates is telling that he finally met his match. He's been defeated and he can now move on in life.
I mean, literally, he had a weight off the shoulder. So
Yeah. So and look, being immortal comes at a cost. So
yeah,
you see it in the movie, like you're gonna outlive whoever you fall in love with.
Mm-hmm.
You can't die, and anybody that you care about, they can die, and you're gonna just see there and witness it. So being immortal is not all is not as great as it's supposed to be.
yeah. I'm pretty sure it either loses its luster after a while, or it's really after a while you just don't give a fuck and become a supervillain.
I'd rather be a Highlander than a vampire, man. I won't have to bite nobody.
Yeah, it's a because I actually think that with DC comic that basically if you're like immortal, you would end up like Vandal Savage probably.
And I'm glad you brought up Vandal Savage, because one of my favorite episodes of Justice League is the one where Superman got teleported to the future and this desolate is wrecked. Nobody survived except Vandal Savage, and he realized the error of his ways, trying to take over the world. Now that everybody's dead and he's living all alone, he's pretty much desolate, and he wants Superman to go back in time and stop him. It actually shows that immortality comes at a price.
And it shows that the Justice League TV series, as well as the whole DC animated universe back in the day, has better writing than most movies.
Yeah.
Trust me, I love the DC animated universe back then. Like that shit.
Yeah, that was brilliant. We were really like, we didn't know it back in the day, but on Saturday morning cartoons we were like spoiled with fantastic storytelling in that time.
Yeah, so being immortal is not the best thing that you want to go through. And sooner or later, you're going to be like, I want to meet my demise because I'm just sick and tired of living so goddamn long.
Yeah.
Well, if you go by the second movie, just mess up the ozone layer and you...
That's it. And then he gets all old and shit. Like you said, Vivi, the makeup was horrible.
Yeah, this is what it was like. He really looked like the Crypt Keeper.
I could not wait for him to get some power and look young again, because I'm sick of old ass Connor.
It's like he really looked like, it's like, dude, you're like basically living since what was it, the 15th or 16th century, and you never heard of lotion in all this in all this hundreds of years, and all the centuries. I
saw them. No. I mean, I didn't see the anime, but I know I saw that they have the 2 animated films, or the 1 animated film. But
I didn't see any of them. Yeah, I also didn't read the Dynamite comics.
What's your thoughts on them, Leroy? Yeah, I didn't read the comic or the.
Probably should have like Leroy on the discussion, because he probably knows more about Highlander than all of us together.
If Leroy, you want to join, man, we'll let you on. I'll send you the link. But yeah, like the second movie. Oh shit! Ow, what's going on, bro?
What's going on?
Hey, even Lex Luthor had a price to pay, when he chased immortality. And then he got merged with Brainiac.
Ooh.
Nice.
Sometimes when you find out what like US franchises have like an anime, it's like also there's like a season of a supernatural anime. What?
Well, I got burnt out after Supernatural by like season 10. I was like, damn.
I think I got burnt up by season, about the same time you did.
I think I watched it until the Leviathan or something, but then I was like, I can't anymore.
And then I remember a couple years later, I was like, wait, this show's still going?
Yeah,
15 seasons, man.
Yeah.
And Robert just went down that rabbit hole too, man.
Yeah.
The G-Man just went down that rabbit hole.
Maybe they were thinking, maybe we catch up to the Simpsons, but the Simpsons never gave up.
Yeah.
If you're immortal, I don't know, man.
Beats watching like the second Highlander movie for immortality.
But I never thought about it when I was a kid. But when rewatching the Highlander movies, thinking about being the cop that comes to the see the, like the beheaded body, you're like, how many beheaded?
Yeah, the investigation scene is messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know why it's canceled.
Yeah. And also, like, let's also jump again to the second one. What is it? The third or the second? No, the second one. I watched them yesterday and already mixing things up. Which one was the one that had like which one was the one that had the finale in the steelworks in the steel?
The third one. That was
the third one.
The third one, because like you watch this and you see the filters and everything is like, I think how they must have like talked about in the boardroom. Hey, what about the ending? It's like, have you watched Terminator 2?
I
just copy it.
I thought of that when watching it, but I was like, this is nowhere near Terminator 2, so let me get that out of my head.
I'm not even a Terminator 2 fan, but this is nowhere Terminator 2.
But the funny thing about the third one at that battle is like the horrible use of CGI.
Oh
yeah. Cut him in half. His legs kept running, but he's holding them there. Like, oh, wait, look, watch this. His legs come right back to him. I'm like,
yeah, and also like with the third one, like the best part about the third one is it has Marco.
For what little time we had of him.
Yeah, but he was in there, so every Marco appearance I honor.
And he had the best one out of all of them, because even decapitated, his head still talked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Trapped it.
Yeah.
Now, Mario Van Peebles as Kane, it could have been good, because I like the idea that they finally had a sorcerer.
Yeah.
And Marco that had powers got decapitated, and his powers transferred over to Kane. And now he has that. So I felt like, okay, now this is a new twist on the Highlander getting on the Quickening, getting new powers. Mm-hmm. So I felt like they could have utilized that a lot more. Like when you really look at it with those powers, he should be able to beat Khan.
Yeah, that's when I started watching the third one yesterday, the beginning actually was like, that's actually interesting. Sadly, 20 minutes later, all this interest already vanished, because the third one really it took the worst parts from the first one and elaborated on them. There's way too much jumping between time periods, and way too many like jumps, and
they do that during the show too. They do that during the show, they do that a lot too, the way they jump in between time periods and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't like when this is done too much, because
it takes you out of
movie. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And when they go to the French scenes, because the current woman that's in the third movie had her like a super great ancestor had an encounter with Connor in France. I'm like, fuck, man, I don't want to see this shit. Stay until the modern time. It's just another romantic element that did not need to be used. What up, G-Man?
Hey, G-Man.
Yes,
just the original, like skip the rest.
But yeah, like they really like messed the third up with that whole taking the worst elements of the first movie and exacerbating it and giving us more of it, and then you just find yourself fast forwarding through all the French stuff, because I don't give a fuck about that. I don't want to see him in a fucked up wig. Like, get that shit out of here.
Yeah, maybe the cop in the first one was right when he asked him if he is and
back to Kane. I'm like, I liked people's performance in the first act. But by the time he gets to that last act, I'm like, you're basically copying Krugen and Katana again with the over-the-top craziness.
And basically, the other thing is, Clancy Brown was so fantastic as the Kurgan, like way too fantastic, like creepy as fuck. Like I remember when I watched it for the first time as a kid, it's like, I don't want to meet a person like that ever in my life. So he made it so perfectly. So good. that, sadly, everybody else thought we have to copy the Kurgan.
And that was the worst thing. Like,
Yeah.
none of the other two, outside of people who had the power set, they tried to make them emulate Kurgan, and it just came off as copying, and it just amateurish as fuck.
And
why did we need all 3 movies have either a car scene or the second movie, a subway train? The fucking character is acting crazy and shit.
And that's the thing. It's with the way Clancy Brown did it. It's like you can't improve that. You can't out crazy him, because if you out crazy him, it becomes like parody. And if you tone it down, then also there's like it's the character he did in the first is uncopied.
It's exclusive to him.
Yes.
It is exclusive. Like Clancy Brown is the template. They did not need to have a copy and paste in the next 2 films.
Like just make it like a full sorcerer. Like that would have been interesting.
Michael Ironside could have been his own character.
Yeah, or like other stuff, if there's something supernatural, like as immortal beings, there may be something else immortal, like something other. Yeah, and like this also, I guess, Queen did so much. Like, just imagine, like, the Princes of the Universe. Just imagine if Queen would have done like a Masters of the Universe soundtrack. How awesome that would have been. Like, Queen makes everything better. That's also the thing with Queen is, it does not matter which music genre do you like. I never met a person in my whole life, didn't matter if you listen to electronic music, to metal, to rap, to classic music, doesn't matter. Everybody thinks that Queen is excellent. Like, it's humanly impossible to not like Queen.
When I posted in my story, I was gonna use the one song, and then I was like, oh, damn, I like this song too. I'm like, oh damn, I like this other song too.
There's just something about Queen's music that like universally speaks to people, to humans.
Yeah, and that soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Sadly, the second and third ones couldn't carry it because
well, the third one's had Guns N' Roses. I know that. The third one had like
Guns N' Roses. But there was like, I don't think I've read this weird story on IMDb that
that basically Guns N' Roses of the late 80s.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses was not because Axl Rose said he will only do it if Mario
because of the act.
Yeah, because he didn't like Mario from Peoples. Like, I don't know why.
Well, we know why.
I mean, I don't know anything about the history of Guns N' Roses, but if it's that reason,
if you look it up, then you'll see why.
Yeah, if it's that the reason, then fuck Axl Rose.
And it's funny, I like some Guns N' Roses songs, but then when I hear about Axl Rose, I'm like, man, why you gotta be like that?
Yeah.
But Slash is co-writing a Sword and Sorcery comic book, The Deathstalker, that is coming out, I think in March. The Deathstalker comics, and Slash is co-writing that. Yeah.
But yeah, like, each movie, the second and third ones, they just tried to make the villains as outlandish as they can be compared to Clancy Brown, and it just failed. It was miserable. And as much as I love Michael Ironside, I hated him in part 2.
Yeah, literally, I mean, he also hated him in part 2.
Yeah, like when you make me hate a great actor, by having him do stuff that I'm like, man, what the fuck is like? It just didn't seem like Michael Ironside. It just seemed like he's copying Clancy Brown, and it just didn't work. And like I said, like, Van Peebles started out great, but then his character just kept getting worse and worse as the movie went on.
Like, also with the voice, he was trying to emulate the Kurgan too much, which probably like was the direction they gave him. Yeah,
the voice was even off with it.
Yeah, but I mean, for what the direction they gave him, he really did a great job. Like the movie did not suffer because of him. Actually, I think it's the only Highlander movie that actually made money at the box office. The third one.
After the second one, you would have thought that one would have tanked.
Yeah.
Because the first one also, I think, just like really became like a big thing afterwards. I think Leroy Larray said that it was like a big hit in Europe, and only later in the US like it picked up. Probably like on home video or something.
It's funny how after Highlander we got Untouchables, which Sean Connery, a lot of people see that as Connery's comeback film when he was doing films in the 80s, but people weren't checking them out. And then after Untouchables, he did the Indiana Jones Last Crusade.
Right. If you can come back from Zardos, and the costume he wore there, then you can come back from everything. The only thing he was not able to come back because he said like he had it was like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, that
was
into his acting run.
Oh, that movie. Maybe in the future we will talk about it, but I remember watching that movie and it's like it doesn't even. It's a big fuck you to.
And of course, like he had Untouchables, he had Indiana Jones, and then he had the awesome Hunt for Red October.
That movie is so. I mean, John Milius, and
that movie is awesome. And then like 1991, he does Highlander 2. I was like, bro, you're bigger now than you were back in James Bond days. Why did you go the Payday? That's all it is, Payday.
Yeah.
And he saw the script. He was like, you know what? I'm just gonna laugh it up on this one.
It was really nice sword fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, the sword fighting was pretty good. I wouldn't say like it's top tier elite sword fighting, but for what they did, the first one was.
Yeah, but I think it looked very. You totally bought it's like a fight to the death.
Mm-hmm. And the decapitation scenes, I will say, are top notch.
Yeah.
Especially the first one. I love the first one. He just slanked the head.
No, but good.
Which version did you actually watch of the second one? Because I think I watched the original version with all the alien shit inside.
I watched the extended cuts, so that's why second one felt so damn long, because I watched the and I was like, fuck.
Yeah, the worst thing was really because I got the Highlander trilogy set from Amazon, the German one, and it says it has the English audio on everyone. I had the English audio on the first and third one, and the second one I had to watch in German, and I was looking forward to the second one because I remember watching it as a kid, of course in German because it was on TV, so I was actually looking forward to, hey, maybe it's better with Michael Ironside's voice. And then it's like, oh, I have to watch it in German. And the German dubbing is so fucking bad.
Bro, I'll never forget when you showed that video of Beverly Hills Cop in German. And I was like, oh my God. And even Sandra Mason said when she watched Christmas Vacation, she I had to watch it in English because that translation was horrible.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of dubbing. It's also when I watch Chinese or Japanese movies, I'm using the subtitles.
Because sometimes when they dub, it's like that's not what he said.
There's so many mistakes sometimes and things that don't make sense with dubbing, especially when it's about specific terms. I remember back in the day when Futurama came out, and I love Futurama, and I watched it. It was the only way back in the day to watch it on German TV, and there was like a Dungeons and Dragons episode, and they translated Dungeons and Dragons, which the game is also called Dungeons and Dragons in German, and it just said Kerker und Drachen. And it's like,
now, I want to bring this comment back up.
yeah,
Because
it's gonna make a remake.
That's the concerning part. Like, do we really need a remake of Highlander? Like, we don't have so many sequels of it. We got a TV series. We got the anime to it. The comic books. Do we need a remake of a B movie from the 80s?
Yeah, I mean, what's gonna be like the plotline in this day and age? Like, basically, it's like they have to suck each other's cocks, and whoever finishes first, like.
or somehow these guys had a kid or something or another. Something's gonna come down the line.
It like when we say that Hollywood is creatively bankrupt, a remake of Highlander definitely shows that you can't come up with no new ideas to say, well, you know, I'm drawing the blank on what we can come up with. But hey, you know what? I just watched the first Highlander movie. That movie would be a great remake, wouldn't it be? No, it won't. If anything, I would rather just watch the original Highlander.
Yeah, it's like, and there is like, how can we improve on the first Highlander? Do you have any ideas? Like, we have 10 Hollywood writers here. Do you all have any idea? Yeah, we're gonna turn the main character female and she's a lesbian.
Hey, they can't have kids anyway, so look, might as well do it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh my god! And actually, there is a female Highlander. I remember going on the website where I see the movies, and I was like, "Wait, who's this female Highlander?" And there's another spin-off of the TV series.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, I think she's a blonde or something like that. Yeah.
But the only, I don't know any female Highlander, but the only female fights that I'm watching is like Ultimate Surrender. If you know what I mean.
Ultimate Surrender. Just the name alone, you know what that's all about.
Because like, it is basically like who comes first loses.
Well, like no, we don't need a remake of Highlander. No. I don't care what they say. Like, we can improve on it, and we won't do what they did with the second Highlander movie. I'm like, I don't trust y'all doing anything good.
Right.
Yeah.
But like you guys said, they might turn the damn Highlander into female just to get the demographic of females.
Hey, they'll probably say, let's do more the whole past, future, present time.
And that's the sad thing, because I actually think like that the whole Hollywood concept is like misogynic. It's like because they are underestimating the female audience, because the actual females in the world are also way too smart to watch this bullshit.
Yeah.
They see it.
Yeah.
They see the bullshit. But yeah, we don't need a Highlander. You know.
Nah, we don't need no remake.
No remake.
No remake.
Yeah.
So if anything, like as long as I don't have to watch Highlander 2 again.
Yeah, because the first movie, like I said, I don't think that the first movie is a masterpiece. I think it's a very enjoyable 7 out of 10 movie. But I don't think that you really can improve on it. Yeah, of course. But I don't think you can really improve on it. I also don't think that anything about the first movie is dated. The effects are still looking good. Acting is great. It's very true to its own concept. I don't think that you can make the first one any better than it is.
Hey, I just want somebody to behead an immortal that's super powerful, so when the quickening happens, damn near wrecks a whole damn city. Like,
isn't the quickening such a stupid term?
It is. Like, I never really got to, like.
It sounds like, you know.
Quickening on.
Yeah, I know. It's like, it basically sounds like, you know, at the club is like, hey, you want to have a quickening?
Yeah, the show had. Yeah, I remember the show having like somebody like a sidekick or something like that, an older guy with the the Highlander or something like that. I forget the name, what they called the people that watch them or whatever. They called them the Watchers or something like that. I don't remember exactly.
Well, we know how the Watchers is creepy as fuck.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I remember watching the show, and there was an older guy that would be always hanging around, and I would always wonder who he was. And then they finally explained him in the episode. I'm like, that don't make
I mean, if you was watching, it would be the Kackening.
Oh man.
And then you have the remake is the Symphony.
But yeah, the name of the Quickening is just weird as hell. And,
Yeah.
and when they get the new power, they always have to say there can be only one. And then they get the power and electricity forms, they get spasms and all that stuff. I'm like, well, damn, man, for you to get this new power, and it don't even be like that's why I feel like the third movie had the better concept because of the sorcerer. Just imagining if anybody have certain powers, you gain their power. They did it the best.
You would think that you would gain the person's knowledge too.
Yeah.
Do you think that basically the Highlander movies are like the story how Raiden got his godlike powers?
Every time you see electricity, I'm like, it's Raiden effect.
It's Raiden.
Yeah.
It's Christopher Lambert Raiden. Yeah.
Hey, another Christopher Lambert movie we gotta talk is The First Fortress.
I haven't watched that one like in a long time.
That Fortress is the same thing as Highlander. Watch the first one.
Yeah.
It's decent. Avoid the second one.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people don't agree with me. One of my favorite Christopher Lambert movie, even though he's very rarely in it, is the second Ghost Rider movie, Spirit of Vengeance. I love that movie. It's great.
I know you love it.
I love the movie.
But yeah, like when it comes to Highlander, and I will say that Highlander was the movie that put Christopher Lambert on the map. You know, so a lot of people know him a lot from the Highlander franchise. You know, that's how he got the Raven appearance in Mortal Kombat because of Highlander and electrical effects.
Yeah.
But
have you ever watched? It's a very not a lot of well-known movie, which I actually like, but it's very weird. It's Beowulf.
That one based on the comic?
It's not based. I don't know if it's based on the comic, but it's based, of course, like on the ancient lore of Beowulf, but in a dystopic. In a very dystopic sci-fi setting, but that also seems like a barbarian wasteland. So it's like this mix of like dystopian sci-fi and sword and sorcery.
Oh boy, that sounds like a hodgepodge of things together.
Yeah, I think that Beowulf, the premise is excellent. I also really like the sets. But I could have been more, like I expected more, but I actually think it aged very well. And when I last rewatched it, I liked it more than when I watched it the first time around.
Well, I'll check it out. I just got to go on Christopher Lambert's list, see it, and I'll probably give it a watch.
Yeah.
Be a future. But yeah, that. Anything else to say about the Highlander films we talked before we move to Jeff?
It's finally over.
It's finally over. So, Jeff, I'm going to give you the floor.
Thank you, sir.
You have a A-OK
from VV, yeah.
And arrived very, I hope, safely, and it was actually there.
Yeah, it did.
I think it was for 2 days in Temple, like laying around.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? I didn't get it until today. I'm like, it's been sitting in Tampa for
2 days, yeah.
So
they
got the digest.
That's the Italian one, yeah.
Yeah, the Italian
because
digest.
I was looking for that for a while for you, and finally I got it like in a very good condition. Because usually you don't find them in a nice condition, but that one. Really
I'm happy I got it because I remember last time I seen it when you had it. I'm like, oh, I need that one.
And I told you I was looking for it, so I also get you one.
Yeah. And I'm happy I finally got it. So that's it. That's gonna be exciting. And then got one of these.
Yeah,
definitely a little homage.
The definitely homage from last year from a Dylan dog. Like
That's
Dylan
really
Dog
cool.
is an Italian like horror comic that is also running since decades now. And there's actually 2 movies. One, a new one that you don't have to watch, but also Della Morte, Della More, the Cemetery Man, I think in the US.
I thought it
It's
was
also,
supposed. I thought this was supposed to be Frank.
actually, when you see it's like he's like the base like the Cemetery Man on this character,
Yeah. But
which
I
is
thought it was.
which is also one of the best zombie movies.
Yep. And then all these other additions.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah.
some German shiny.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that much when I saw this one. I'm like, woo! And then this one. Yeah.
Love that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
That's the Italian one.
Yeah, here's the Italian one, but this one just needs a nice press, and then it should be good.
Yeah.
Nice little press, and it'll be.
Love that early Hughes cover.
Yeah, I was thinking about, since I already have the other. I was gonna get Hughes to sign this German edition and grade it. It'll be the only one on the census.
It'll just be an AH when he signs it.
Yeah. I hate that too. And I'm like, dude, I wish he would sign actually Adam Hughes on the damn cover, but he would never will. So
Yeah.
and then some more
And
she
Some the variants of it because
Yeah.
you know you're also like a Tucci fan.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it'd be cool to meet. Yeah, it'd be fun to meet Tucci and have Tucci sign these too.
You haven't met him yet, Jeff?
No, I met him. I met him once or twice.
Is that the Orlando Toy Show, right?
Yeah,
Not the
I met.
Orlando- Yeah, because that's where I met him.
Yeah, I met him twice at that show, and then I had him sign. Yeah, I had them sign a couple of things for me too. So it was cool.
Yeah, sadly, I didn't find any Frazetta cheese in German.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, there's always next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm excited for that Vampy Digest Italian one. I'm
Yeah.
woo, like, oh, first thing I saw in there was this thing. I'm like, ooh, finally.
It's also interesting that it really works well with the white background. I think also
Yeah.
because also gave one to Sarah, and that's also the thing she really liked, like the white background.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was gonna have Sarah and Mom probably sign it on the moon, probably. Maybe. I don't know yet. I'm thinking about it.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Oh yeah, and I picked this up at the show last weekend.
Yeah. Talk about the show last week.
Ooh,
It was
nice.
great. Yeah, and it's actually signed by Frank, so that's cool. So I finally have
You
something
got that
signed.
some time?
Yeah,
Figures.
yeah, I finally got something signed there. Yeah, so I have something signed, but I asked a couple of the.
Was that your entire budget right there?
Yeah, pretty much.
And because like these portfolios, back in the day,
Yeah,
I think back
Yeah, I
in the
didn't
day
have
nobody
nothing.
cared
I
about
didn't
it,
have
but now like the portfolios are like.
Yeah,
I actually think that the collector space cares way too much about artist portfolios.
yeah. But I'm just saying, I had never, you know what I mean?
I
I never had nothing signed by Frank, so it's
Yeah.
finally nice to have something that's actually signed by him. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll put that up for sure. But I don't think, like everybody was saying, you shouldn't have Sarah sign like one of the other ones on there. So because it's a vintage thing, so
Yeah.
you know, and she had nothing to do with it. So I understand why.
Yeah. I also think that, especially when something is like very vintage, it should.
Yeah. Should
Like,
stay
be,
vintage.
Yeah. Stay vintage.
Yeah, so I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, man. But that was, and then I found something else at Tony's. On Tony's, you know, every time I go, I end up finding something at times at Tony's. I found one at Tony's one. I found his golden, one of his weird science covers. And he had a pretty decent price on it. I told him to hold it until September.
Got to build up that capital to get it.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't expensive because it was a low grade one anyway, so it wasn't that expensive anyway.
Still ain't have the capital to get it right then.
Right, because I spent all my capital on this one.
You got to build it back up just to get that now, no matter what.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And then MegaCon.
2 weeks away, man. Jesus.
Yeah, 2 weeks, man. Jesus.
It's still too early for a massive
Yeah.
con like that.
Yeah, and then Mega, and then the museum with your brother. After that, like the week, and another 2 weeks after that.
2 weeks after that. So yeah, February is gonna be another busy month.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself at the show. If it wasn't Saturday, I would have went. But,
you mean if it wasn't Sunday, you would have went? I know. I told everybody.
If it was Saturday, I would have went on the.
Oh, I saw the guys the Heroes After Dark. Yeah, I saw a bunch of them. There. Yeah, I saw a bunch of them. They go, "Where's Shad?" I go, "It's Sunday." That's all I have to say. I go, "It's Sunday."
I also get something this week.
Ooh.
Yeah, since luckily like a comic book store in Vienna posted some new stuff, and I always buy it, especially when it gets some swords.
Everybody is trying to make Heroes Con, so we're gonna have a massive gathering there.
And it's so tough to find some of these books in Europe, especially magazines. Like I finally got the second issue of Highlander Barbarians.
Nice.
Like in a, let's say he graded it as a 7.0, but this one looks really clean. Nice. Then I already have this one, but mine is like really low grade. So of course I also wanted to have had the origin of Red Sonja and the third one in a better grade. So with this one, 7.5, I'm very happy.
That looks like a Kinkeli almost. The cover almost looks like Kinkeli. Almost.
But
it's not. I don't think so.
I forgot who it is. But
I'll have to go back to Tom's magazine boxes to see if he got that.
And especially since I want to collect the Epic magazines anyway, they're so tough to find here. I mean, they're also like the German versions of the Epic magazines. Those you can like pretty much find everywhere.
So now we know you're doing that. Yeah. Now we know your next batch, we're gonna probably put some of those in there. Nice. Now we know that he's after them.
That Barry Windsor Smith cover is so beautiful.
I love that book. That's one of the few books that I'm glad I have.
So I'm very happy. So I only need from the Carl and the Barbarians now issue number 1. Then I also have all the Carl magazines. Yeah, and there's for the Epic, I think it's my first American Epic. I only have the German ones. But yeah, it's awesome, so nice haul from Vienna.
Nice, lots of great mags there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, one thing about going to Tom's stores, man, the magazines he has.
Yeah.
Like you can just go through those boxes and he's like, damn, I need more money.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want. Sometimes I wonder where the guy in Vienna like gets all this good stuff, and but he has also really good connections. He's really also really fair with pricing, and Matt Titan Comics in Vienna, fantastic store.
Yeah, same thing with Tom. Tom has great press.
Great prices. He'll give
you would have laughed at the show because Steve hands me the cash and goes, "You go get this book. I want this book, but I know you're gonna get it for a better deal." I go, "Just do the math before you get there," and he'll say, "Okay."
Yeah, that's the great thing about Tom. You get your books, and he say, "Hey, just total it up, add the discount to it, and that's what you're gonna pay." Most guys they like to do it themselves to make sure that we're gonna make sure we get the right price. But Tom, he'll let you do the add and the discount.
Yeah.
So that shows you that Tom trusts us because we support him. So he trusts us to do the right thing by him.
Yeah, it's like in the best case, it's always giving and a taking.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Man, that was great stuff, guys. Great, awesome.
Yeah.
And next week, finally, the new comic book delivery should also arrive, and with it, there's also the 2 back issues for Savage Dragon inside. So I should get your AOK ready next week.
Great, man.
Did you get the final issue of Sarah's run yet, or no? That's next week for you, right?
That's also in that one. I also got her cover and the Virgin variant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll be picking up my books tomorrow. So
yeah, so read it all together.
That's what I'm planning on doing.
Yeah, it flows way better because I actually read the whole thing all together. It actually flows a lot better all together.
Actually, I think it flows. So I really like it actually.
No, I do too.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that when you have the whole thing, it's like I'm hoping she does more in that universe though.
Yeah.
Being honest.
Like probably I'm gonna get it in trade and read it and in trades. I don't have
Oh yeah, me too.
Put the books out of the bags. But yeah, I'm very happy because what I really like about it, the story is you can totally, when you know Sarah, when you talk with her, you can totally tell like which parts of the story is like her input. And it's so refreshing. That's the other thing also said. Also with what's really cool, I like Count Crowley is a really good indie series out there that is written by the actor I can't pronounce second name, Das Malichen, who plays like the polka dot man in Suicide Squad. Like cool actor and a really nice kind of great writer. And like lately, every time when somebody who truly loves like storytelling and comes outside of comics and tells a story, it's so refreshing because it breaks with the boring stuff that the people that work in comics and that don't really improve on the writing, and they just present the same thing over and over again, which is a big problem. I think that's also why I'm not reading anything Marvel or DC right now. So it's always nice when you have like a new and interesting voice with like new ideas in comics. Yeah. And that's what I really liked in this miniseries. In general, I think when you're a Vampirella fan, with Christopher's Priest run going on and on and on, and with like an interesting input like from Sarah, you like storytelling wise, I think we live in the best Vampirella age.
Right now, because the Amy Chu stuff was horrible. That was horrible. But I think Caprice is writing, what is it? Vampy
666 and then 667 is an ongoing again, apparently.
I hate that shit, man.
Yeah.
I hate when they take these big numbers and say, we're going to continue from, so we got 667, 60. Like, fuck y'all, man.
It's like, I'm like, what the hell? I'm like,
I really think that Dynamite has like a bizarro editor that is like, okay, our continuity is very difficult to follow. It's very
of course it is.
It's very hard to figure out, even within the Christopher Priest run. What takes place when? How can we make it even more confusing?
well, all these tie-ins, like the Draculina tie-in, the freaking But the funniest thing is he's not writing his own character. That one he created. What was it? Yeah, I was surprised. I'm like, you have him create this character, but you're not having him write the character. So that's kind of funny.
And her miniseries was horrible.
Oh, dude, the art in the damn book was horrible.
Like, I put it off the pull list after issue number 1. Because that one was
put it off sooner than I did.
It's such an
I put it off after 2.
Yeah, it's such an interesting character, and then
I can't, and that's Dynamite's fucking problem. That they throw these fucking beautiful covers, but then you get mediocre.
As you can see up there, like the first short box is just Christopher Priest's Vampirella run. I limited really to the stuff that he writes. So I have in there like all this Vampirella stuff, Draculina, Secret Six was Sacred 6 was so fucking good.
Oh and that was all Caprice. Everything Caprice has been, but like you guys said, he does his homework first before he does to go to write it, because he did that with Black Panther, he did that with all of his stuff, and I'm happy that he did, because it actually it's good. It's the best run so far.
And I'm happy to still do. The first when I saw like the 666 for pre-order, it's like, oh no, and then it's like Christopher Priest is fighting it.
Oh, I'm like, oh my god.
That's the thing. It's like I'm happy Priest is continuing, but I just hate the numbering.
What they really have to do, and
I didn't understand what the number was. I'm like, what the hell is that number?
It's 666, so of course they trying to play on that number.
Right.
The fact that it's a continuation after it, they're trying to get to 700.
Yeah, I really think what they have to do is as soon as Christopher Priest is finished, I'm pretty sure they won't do it because Dynamite is stupid as fuck, sadly. They should do like an omnibus with the whole Christopher Priest run where everything is in continuity. Like everything is in a correct
They will. Because they did that with a lot of the other ones.
I know, but I don't trust them.
Oh yeah, me either. But they'll probably throw it on Kickstarter and go, "Hey, you can do this."
I'm not backing anything on Kickstarter anymore because everything that is good comes out in stores eventually. Like also the Deathstalker comic book by Slash was also on Kickstarter, but you can now normally pre-order it. And Kickstarter is such a pain in the ass, especially when you don't live in the US. Because I pay like shipping and then I have to pay also the taxes, like I basically have to pay like probably like 20 to 30 euro shipping, and then I have to pay 20 euros to the state because I bought something outside the European Union.
You might as well just PayPal me or Sean and then just have just have you send it that way.
And then if you do it with Dynamite, you have to wait an eternity, and then you also have to hope that you get your stuff. I remember with my, for my girlfriend for her birthday, I did the backing with the first Elvira Kickstarter they had. So she gets like a signed Elvira comic because she's a big Elvira fan. And it did not come, it did not damage. So other people getting it, I really had like I emailed Dynamite, no response. Then it's like, wait a moment, Dynamite is following me on Instagram. I'm writing them on Instagram, and then as soon as saw it's like, oh, it's the guy who's posting a lot of comics. Then I finally the things was solved. I have to say they added a second Vampirella signature in there, like on a trading card, but the ordeal I had to go through to even get
just to get it. Yeah, I got you.
Like horrible. And this was when I also said, it's like, hey, I'm really done with all of this crowdfunding. The concept itself is nice, but first of all, also like they outdid it. They put every bullshit on Kickstarter. I always think, when you put something on Kickstarter, it needs to be something extraordinary. Like they did with the Jim Bayland Red Sonja covers, something exclusive cover, something really nice, something prestige. Then I was okay with it. But then they started to put every bullshit on there.
And everything.
Also with other stuff, like I think there's like a lot of good stuff if you look like interesting comics out there that come with crowdfunding. But I don't think that crowdfunding is a viable distribution like for an ongoing series. Some people really figured it out to do it very well. But like I say, it's
Brian Pulido, Lady Death.
Pulido really figured it out very well.
Stranger Comics too.
I'm not paying like with shipping in Texas. I'm not paying like 80 euros for like one fucking comic book.
Yeah.
Like it's like now. I mean,
one comic and a bunch of junk. Like one comic and a bunch of
junk. For a new comic book, like. Paying way too much for some old comic books.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. That's why outside of Stranger Comics, I really don't partake in a lot of Kickstarter stuff because it's like it's not worth the hassle sometimes, especially when you only feel like really want like maybe 2 books.
Yeah. That. Oh yeah. I told you guys the story about it behind this one, behind this box right here. This is that art book. That took freaking 2 years, but that was because of COVID. But nobody wanted to print this thing. Nobody wanted to. Yeah, this was a Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was the Kickstarter.
This is absolutely beautiful.
Hey, we need some interior shots.
Yeah,
interior.
But waiting 2 years.
interiors. See?
Yeah.
And look at that. I flip right to Vampy. See? That's that he did most of the covers. And then but he did the when he started painting normal like regular art, he went under his pseudonym. He went under his first name instead of his middle one. So yeah. I read up a lot, so eventually I'm gonna make a video on him and Gonzalez.
Nice.
Yeah, those two.
Gonzalez is so fantastic.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's just trying to shoot it and I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna either like images and voice over it, or if I do the voiceover, I might have to ask Al to help out a little bit. So like certain parts and stuff, bits and pieces. I'm trying to figure it out. But I want to at least come out with.
If Al's voiceover, it's
yeah, over with.
Like epic.
Yeah, that's what I thought about. I'm like, man, my voice, nah, not so much. Al's voice, maybe.
And you can say it's like when people ask you, do you use AI for your videos? No, I use Al.
Bro, sometimes those AI videos where they doing the talking, I'm like, I can't stand it because you can just tell this robot,
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I have to say that a lot of people are not using it to its full potential. There are like AIs out there, and I know like somebody that I work with. Since I'm writing a lot about AI, and I know like somebody from Upper Austria that is really deep into it, and he's like doing AI stuff since like decades, and he has a podcast that is written and voiced by AI, but with his voice. So if you don't personally know him, you would really think that this is his voice, because you can train an AI. You give an AI like 1 hour sample. For example, like if I would just upload our videos to the AI and say, hey, this is us free, and then we technically could like make like a whole AI thing where we have like 3 people, 3 AIs, and everybody talks in our voices. So there's possibilities there that are as fascinating as they're eerie.
Sooner or later, our voices will be used without our authority, and it's like
and it's getting more and more crazy. Even with GPT like 2 and 3, you were like able to get, okay, this is written by an AI. Even with 3.5, you can say, okay, there's some words that AI keeps using, etc. But with GPT-4, it's already very tough to tell, and with the Google Gemini Ultra that is currently like slowly rolling out, it's gonna be tough, and who knows what OpenAI has like in their hands to like counter like Google Gemini. So I don't think that at the end of this year, I don't think will be able to tell just by reading if something is AI written or not. So
I'm gonna write a new movie because that's gonna happen in the future. It's called the AI Wars.
And that's the other thing with AI is like with Hollywood, where it's like they're so.
It's already bad that kids can't write themselves, and now they're gonna use this AI stuff to write for them. That's gonna be even worse.
Yeah, that's the sad thing is because AI would give so many possibilities. If we would really think it through, we could create like a world where everybody gets like a fixed pay and the AI does the work. However, I don't think that humans will use it for good.
Hey, you know what movie we need to talk about? Remember the movie Surrogate with Bruce Willis?
What is the
Surrogate? Because that movie was like AI controlled, like bots, your own robot.
I didn't watch that one. No, it was 2009. I think 2009 was already when I was like, no more Bruce Willis movies for me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is a late Bruce Willis movie, and yeah, by that point he's fallen. But give that movie a watch and let me know your thoughts on it.
It's interesting, especially since, like I said, like I'm writing a lot about AI, but I also personally think that I don't think that AI will take over blogs, YouTube, etc. Because it doesn't matter how good it's written. I mean, if somebody would write its own text and let its voice be AI, I think that's completely fine, because then you give it like a soul. But the thing that the people will have to do to succeed in writing and video creation will be to truly have your own voice. Because when you can create a video like in the text with a mouse click just by putting in inputs, it will be people want to have opinions by people. And if you are not able to give that, because you have to do stuff that the AI can't, so you will have probably fantastic texts written by an AI, but also the thing is that it's not an opinion. It's like a mix from the source that the AI took. It's like not a genuine opinion, and you really have to present yourself as a character. And this is also what I said to many artists in comics. You don't have to be afraid about AIs. Like, you are not in danger if you're a good artist, that is.
Right.
Because nobody will go to a Comic Con and wants to have an autograph by an AI. The thing you have to do is you have to make a brand out of yourself. You have to
just imagine if you went to a booth and there was nobody at that booth. You'd be like, "Who's signing?"
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't see AI as a danger to true art that has a soul.
Right.
I think it's perfectly fine to have like AI art for like to have it instead of stock pictures. When you write a blog and you say, "Hey, I want to have like a thumbnail of my blog that please create this fast." I think that's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
You just won't see no AI photos of me back in high school or something like that people was posting last year.
Yeah, it's like that's a fun play thing, and
I just won't partake.
But also, like, this is the thing that, like, basically, this
or
is
just show your damn high school yearbook photo.
Hey, like the video I posted 2 weeks ago of all my old Christmas photos.
Right,
imagine if I just AI'd all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I have a cool picture of myself how I would look like as an orc. That's the interesting stuff.
Or a barbarian.
Yeah.
Well, man, that was a spirited conversation there at the end with the AI stuff.
Yeah.
But that great episode, guys. Jeff, thanks for joining here and hanging.
You're welcome.
Hanging with us. Great AOK from BB.
I'm getting arrived in One Piece and very fast.
Yeah, I did too. I saw the postman coming. I'm like, yep, I'm running out to the so I get it.
So next week we'll be talking some Schwarzenegger. We have yet to talk Schwarzenegger on my channel since we moved over. So I was like, man, we need to talk a Schwarzenegger film, man. We're gonna talk Raw Deal.
And nobody gives Schwarzenegger Raw Deal.
No. He gave them the Raw Deal because he got the chance to do Total Recall.
Yeah, I mean, Dino De Laurentiis gave him like a Raw Deal, but he talked himself out.
He flipped the script on him. He flipped the script. But yeah, we're gonna talk Raw Deal next week, and it should be an awesome stream. Anything Schwarzenegger is gonna be awesome anyway. So, but Jeff, do you got anything?
Before I got old.
Jeff, you got anything planned coming up?
We're gonna be on G-Man's channel tomorrow at 1, the Nerdy Collective, and we're gonna have Sticky Goose on tomorrow, and then the week after that we're gonna have TM Nerdy on. So that's
hey now, G-Man, I know you asked me the co-host for tomorrow. You told me it was an intriguing guest. When I saw said guest, I'm like, he doesn't intrigue me one bit. So I bowed out. But you got TM Nerdy next week. That's an intriguing guess to me. I'm looking to be on next weekend with TM Nerdy. So next weekend, G-Man, I will be on next weekend.
And I will be asleep. I will be asleep when we're on stream.
Normally VV would be up when we were used to be on.
Back when I had to work as a teacher. Now that I'm working from home office, is like I can sleep as long as I want.
Yeah.
I just have like a deadline when I need to do my work. So now I sleep until 10 a.m.
And 2 weeks from now, on the 27th, we're planning a Royal Rumble watch party. You know, Super Russ has been doing his Royal Rumble live streams. I joined him the previous 2 years. I got Jace looking to join, and Simply Incredible, and we're gonna do a live reaction to the Royal Rumble on the 27th. So that's gonna be fun.
Gonna be. I'm so looking forward to it. It's all. I mean, of course, like everybody thinks that CM Punk is gonna win the men's Royal Rumble.
I don't think so. I think it's gonna be Cody. It might be Cody.
I personally hope that. I don't think. I think it would be too easy. Personally, I think they would. You know, I think he will be like in the last two. And then he has to figure out, okay, how can I get a title shot against Roman Reigns? So I think it's either gonna be that he has a match against Damian Priest against Damian Priest for the Money in the Bank suitcase. Because let's face it, Damian Priest is not gonna cash it in because
every time he cashes it in, and somebody always interferes.
They do him so dirty. Damian Priest is such a fantastic wrestler, a fantastic character, and you know, Judgment Day works very well for Rhea Ripley and Dirty Dom.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if I think he's the workhorse of W. I absolutely love Dirty Dom.
He truly is the son of Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we saw Kevin Nash last week. At the show.
Oh, nice.
Big sexy man.
Dude, everybody right after he showed up at noon. You know how sometimes it gets super packed. When we walked in, it was super packed. But right when he walked in, everybody went to it got everything cleared up. We could actually go hunt and everything else.
Because he was at Spooky Empire, and I thought going to Spooky to meet him, but then I was like, well, I want to meet Al and them because they wasn't interested in going, so I was like, I'm pass on that. But I'm like, we lost Scott Hall, and I'm like, man, this might be the opportunity to at least try and meet Kevin Nash. So,
he was super cool. He was nice.
Yeah,
everybody.
I think he talks a lot of bullshit.
He do.
He does, but hey, losing your son and your best friend is like
it's tough, man.
Like I'm feeling it really sucks. It's like
gore.
Like condolences, like for everything, like nobody deserves to lose a son and your best friend.
Yeah, so it was like 8. What was it? It was like 80 for 80 for some signature.
The combo.
Yeah, the combo, and then but and then it was like, it wasn't bad. He had Super Shredder on the table. He had Pops. He had all kinds of stuff on the table. He brought some more stuff too, like for the people to get signed and everything. It was cool. Walking by and everything. He was in the right next to the boost. Right next to the fire exit.
And like I said, I remember early last year when we met Jerry the King Lawler.
Yeah, and he had a heart attack.
Yeah, he had to stroke the next day. So it's like you never know, man.
Yeah. It's like, this generation, and sadly, we can be we are lucky that some of these generations are still alive, because wrestling is not the most healthy sport and lifestyle. I would also say when you have the possibility to meet them, I would absolutely.
I'm surprised Flair's liver hasn't gave out yet.
Hey, I'm calling it right now. Ric Flair's gonna be Sting's final opponent.
He goes, I'm coming out of retirement again. I'm gonna face Sting.
with Ric Flair, it's like I think it's one of these cases where he sold his soul to so many devils and demons, like they're fighting over it. So,
Yeah.
so as long as they're fighting, like he's safe.
Yeah. He's the wrestling's Constantine,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Currently, like Ric Flair is a big meme in Germany.
Yeah.
Like we have to like there's so many Ric Flair memes in Germany right now. With like basically.
Page. But yeah, we about ready to sign out. Shout out to Gore Vidal for showing up, and shout out to everybody in the chat. G man.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
I'll see G tomorrow at 1.
So basically, it's all about like when the old guy turns on the radio in the bureau.
And shout out to Leroy Green. He was the first one here in the chat. He was awesome.
Thanks for all the input. Like know more about Highlander than all of us together. So thanks for being there.
Yeah, so we had a great show. And next week we'll talk Raw Deal on the Schwarzenegger. And I don't know if there's a Comic Con Crew episode this weekend, but it's either be this Saturday or next Saturday that we'll have a Comic Con Crew episode. So with that in mind, just want to say have a great Friday and have a great weekend, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Peace out.